Hey everyone, and welcome back to Men Can Be Anorexic. My name is Connor, and for this week's video, I'd like to go into detail about something I mentioned in the last video, and that is the freshman 15. But as always, before I say more, a trigger warning for anyone currently going through or recovering from anorexia, just because I might say some stuff that can potentially be upsetting or triggering, and the last thing I want to do is put anyone in a bad place. As my senior year of high school came to an end and the beginning of college got closer and closer, I developed some anxiety around the freshman 15. For anyone who doesn't know, the term freshman 15 refers to the tendency of new college students to gain some weight as a result of buffet-style dining halls and heavy drinking. Basically, the very problematic and toxic idea is that the increase in access to food, the ability to drink more than ever before, and the disappearance of parental supervision all combine to yield some weight gain among the freshman class. Before I go further, I want to stress something very important. The freshman 15 is stupid. Whether or not it's based in reality is irrelevant. The real problem is the demonization of weight gain that it promotes. If you are a freshman in college or a junior or a senior in high school, trust me when I say you have nothing to worry about. If you decide to go to college, enjoy your time there and don't pay any mind to this stupid, toxic myth. As you might expect, high school seniors who have decided to go to college tend to think and talk about the freshman 15 as their first semester approaches. Unsurprisingly, these thoughts and conversations tend to revolve around one central topic: how to avoid the freshman 15. Honestly, I don't recall any specific conversations I had with friends, but I know the topic came up more than once. And personally, I found myself thinking about the freshman 15 very often, and I know for a fact that I vocalized those thoughts to members of my family enough times to raise some eyebrows. As I've said before, I ate as I pleased in high school. Peanut butter, Hot Pockets, Oreos, Cheez-Its, these were the staples of my diet back then. I didn't care how much I ate, and honestly, I very rarely thought about it. But as move-in day got closer and closer, the anxiety started to set in. I knew that once I got to campus, I would no longer be required to run every day, and I would have virtually unlimited access to pizza and ice cream. It was starting to feel like weight gain would be inevitable. So, to cope with this anxiety, I made a decision during the summer after my high school graduation. As soon as I got to campus, I was going to change my eating habits. I was determined to cut back on snacks and desserts and up my intake of fruits and vegetables. Although I didn't cut out anything entirely, that freshman year marked a radical change in my diet. I was still treating myself to snacks and desserts on occasion, but I was doing so far less often and in far smaller portions than I had before. Even though I wasn't truly sick until my sophomore year, I realize now that I spent my first year of college laying the groundwork for anorexia. It was during that freshman year that I started dedicating more and more plate space to vegetables and grains and less plate space to meat and snacks. In a way, it was during that freshman year that I started restricting. And it all started with this fear of gaining the freshman 15. When I sat down to write this blog post and script this video, I was curious to see how the mainstream media has talked about the freshman 15. One Google search later, and I was reading a terrible Washington Post article from a couple years ago titled, "How to Avoid the Freshman 15." For the rest of this video, I'm going to be reading and criticizing a few key excerpts from this Washington Post article. But before I do, again, a trigger warning for anyone going through or recovering from anorexia. In these excerpts, there are references to behaviors and ideas that might not be good for someone in a fragile place. You know yourself better than I do. Take care of yourself, and if you have to, stop watching this video right now. Let's get into the article. Getting into a routine and creating structure for your meals will help you feel more in control of what you're eating. Nope. Nope. Absolutely not. I recognize that routines are a normal part of everyday life, but creating structure for your meals is not always a good idea. That is exactly how I ended up getting sick. Structure can bring rigidity, and rigidity can bring restriction. And I don't know why anyone would encourage teenagers to think this way. Grab a salad plate rather than a dinner plate. You're likely to eat less while still feeling satisfied when you eat from a smaller plate. What? No, seriously. What? What adult sentient human being with a right mind would encourage teenagers to trick themselves into eating less? That is the definition of restriction. Nothing good can come from giving young people this kind of advice. Rather than having bags of chips and candy on hand for late night studying, stock your dorm room with healthy snacks like individually portioned packs of nuts, whole grain granola bars with fewer than 5 grams of sugar, and fresh fruit, veggies, and hummus in your mini fridge. I'm officially at a loss for words. That is easily the worst part of this article, and it is a terrible article. Somehow, in a single sentence, the writer manages to encourage both portion control and nutrition fact obsession. I'm a broken record at this point, but it's worth reiterating that this is an article targeted towards teenagers. This is an adult person with an article edited by other adult people telling young, impressionable students to restrict their portion sizes and obsess over nutrition facts. I mean, how reckless is that? The point of me sharing those excerpts from that Washington Post article was to further illuminate the pure absurdity that is the Freshman 15. And I think I'll just leave it on that note for today. My main point with this video is to illustrate the fact that the Freshman 15 is a stupid, terrible thing, and new college students should do their best to ignore it. Like I said earlier, enjoy your time at school, eat as you please, and remember, weight gain, if it does happen, is far from the end of the world. Thank you very much for watching. Down in the description box, you'll find the phone number for the Anorexia, Nervosa, and Associated Disorders Hotline, which you or anyone you know can call if you're looking for immediate help. Thanks so much, and see you next week.